All right, good morning. Next question is from Leslie. And yeah, we know you. Hi. Yeah. So let's see. I've seen several citing this study, and I've read that patients also received a double dose of steroids. Oh, I didn't remember that. The study is pointing to is another one of these. This is the big retrospective study with hydroxychloroquine, where they do things and then they look back in time and they compare a group of people from one place and one time to a group of people from other places, possibly at the same time, but maybe also at other times. And they show that these ones where something happened to them are different in some way. That's the idea. And so, yeah, that study exists. It has something like 2,500 people in it. It's not bad, but it is a retrospective study, and yes, you are absolutely right to say, yeah, I don't know, how good is this? So let's read the rest of the question. Um, Also, the patients were selected with what sounds like not so rigorous controls. Right, because at the time that they were collecting data, they didn't know they were collecting data. Basically, they were just doing things. These are doctors that were trying their best, and some of them were trying this thing out, some of them weren't trying this thing out, and they were at different hospitals, and they had different patients, and yeah, a lot of variables there. And then after, they then decided to go back and just count up the people, who ended up with this treatment or without this treatment, and whatever other treatments go along with it. Yeah, and so all you can say is that something for sure was different about the two groups, and that more people survived in the one group than the other. It doesn't say for sure that it was hydroxychloroquine, and the bigger prospective studies that I've seen, where they actually have placebo-controlled, blinded, like a real study, yeah, like a fair study. Those have not shown an effect. So it's probably some combination of the other treatments that they were getting, good care by doctors who were sort of forward-thinking enough to try this hydroxychloroquine once it became available, and yeah, so that's where that is. That's probably the strongest piece of evidence that hydroxychloroquine might work, but it does not outweigh the much stronger pieces of evidence that it doesn't do anything significant. Yeah, I mean, I would like for it to work, but it's not there. It would be really nice if instead of just pounding on the hydroxychloroquine nail over and over and over with our favorite hammer, we could go for a nifamostat or a camostat, or there are some interesting immunomodulatory. I'm trying not to use that word, but like immune system regulating treatments, like using some of the same little proteins or signals that immune cells use to talk to each other. And there are, there are actually a lot of things that also seem to work at least as well as hydroxychloroquine did in just cell culture, and haven't really had their day in the clinic yet. And I would really like to see some of those go through because, yeah, they may be better at the best. Like, even if you're, yeah, convinced hydroxychloroquine works, it doesn't do much. It doesn't save most people, and the best that I've seen is that it'll get you out of hospital maybe a day or two sooner if you weren't going to die anyway. And part of when you go home from the hospital is, again, the doctor's clinical evaluation of how you're doing. So, yeah, you can see there's a lot of ways that this can get all tangled up with wishes and hopes and stuff like that. And that's the thing with science. It doesn't, if you're doing it right, it doesn't matter what you want to happen. You're recording what actually happens, and you're just like a little barometer for the world, basically. You're testing out what nature, you know, does in a particular situation in order to predict what it'll do if you put nature, the virus, in that same situation in the future. That's the goal. And so it's important to be careful, because that's how we have nice things, is by people being really careful and doing a really good job. It's not just about raining on this one stupid parade. over and over and over again. I have no idea why we're still holding parades in the rain, honestly, but yeah, hydroxychloroquine, man. Yeah, people love it. Yeah. Yeah, there's other stuff, and that's the stuff that I'd like to see tested now. We have good enough information that if it was anything else and if it hadn't been endorsed, I think by people like the president, there would be nobody talking about this. It would just be another thing that didn't really pan out, and it's fine because we got a lot more things coming down the pipe. So yeah, on to the next one. So there we go. That's it. Yeah. um, Good to see you. Thanks very much for writing in. And this has been Ask Dr. Ben.